At the time I'm recording this, I've sent more than 10 million cold emails for myself and hundreds of my clients over the past 3 years, and have personally scaled 3 separate businesses, ListKit, a software, Client Ascension, a coaching program, and Knowledge X, a lead gen agency, to 7 figures a year with cold email as our main acquisition channel. But cold email is not easy if you're just starting out, so if you gave me a time machine and I could go back to when I first started sending cold emails, here's 40 things I would tell myself to save hundreds of hours and tens of thousands of dollars in marketing budget. Number 1, your cold emails should be 50 words or less. The biggest mistake that I see beginner cold email copywriters make is they try to say too much in their cold emails, when the reality is the person on the other end is a busy professional who just doesn't have the time to sit down and read a long email. Some of the best cold emails of all time are 1 sentence long, and they've generated dozens of booked calls and dozens of closed deals. So anything over 50 words in your cold email, and you're just risking the prospect and not reading your email, clicking off of it, and never responding. Number 2, never send a calendar link over cold email when a prospect wants to book a call with you. Instead, suggest a few times, Monday or Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, and let the prospect choose, because this is the greatest psychology trick in the book. Instead of a yes or no question, you're asking them which time works better, so their natural response is going to be, oh, Tuesday at 1 p.m. works great. Once you get that verbal confirmation from the prospect, book them on your calendar, say that the invite's been confirmed, and you'll talk to them on Tuesday. Don't shove a calendar link in their face. It's never going to work. Number 3, your cold email follow-ups should almost be the exact same email as your initial email, word for word. You want your email sequences to read like a billboard. When you look at a billboard on the highway, it says the same thing every single time until it finally resonates with you on your 6th or 7th time driving by it. Your cold email should be the same thing. If you're offering cold email and email number 1, and then email number 2 has an SEO pitch, and email 3 has a video marketing pitch, you're going to lose the prospects because they're going to have no clue what you're actually offering. Here's a really good example of how you keep your offer and your copy congruent throughout the entire sequence. Email number 1. Hey Christian, notice you're a co-founder at ListKit. We can book 60 calls a month for you on your calendar on pay per performance. Mind if I share a video explaining further? Email number 2. We can book 60 calls on your calendar on pay per performance. Mind if I share a video? I literally just took my email 1, deleted the personalization on it, and made it my email 2. And that is a perfectly fine follow-up strategy, because you don't want to go way away from your original pitch and confuse the prospect. You want to remind the prospect of what you're actually selling, so by the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th email, they get it and they respond back to you, and you get a sales call as a result. So make sure that your cold email copy reads like a billboard. Number 4, if you want to scale your cold email volume, set up new cold email inboxes instead of sending more volume from a single inbox. This is one of the biggest mistakes I see among solopreneurs or entrepreneurs. They don't think that they have to set up new inboxes and they can just scale the volume on their existing domains. That is the easiest, most surefire way to go to spam, hurt your deliverability, and completely tank your cold email results. Think of it like pawns on a chessboard. If you want to scale your outreach, just purchase more pawns and put them on the battlefield or the chessboard or whatever you want to call it. Don't concentrate all of your risk, all of your volume on a single domain, because Google or Outlook is going to pick up on that and send you straight to spam. Number 5, always warm up your new cold email domains for at least 14 days before you actually start sending cold outreach messages. And the reason being is because you have to let Google or Outlook know that you're a human being and you're mimicking human behavior by warming up your domains for at least 2 weeks. This is another situation where people get impatient, they fumble the bag, and they go straight to spam right off the bat because they don't want to sit around for 14 days and wait for the actual warm-up process to play through. They want to start cold email campaigns on day 1. Well, guess what? You're just going to go to spam anyways, so you might as well wait the 14 days, do it properly, let the domains warm up with the warm-up process that every sending tool has, and 2 weeks later, you can hit the ground running and actually produce results. Number 6, your cold email campaign deliverability goes up as your positive reply rate goes up. I'll get into this later, but this is a huge reason why you should have a call to action that's extremely conversational, like a video pitch, an example of your work, a free sample, portfolio, case studies. Anything that gets the prospect to respond yes is going to help your deliverability. If you send 10,000 cold emails and you get 2 responses to them, Google or Outlook is going to strike that down right away and say, this is a spam campaign. No one's responding. This is not human behavior. If you send 10,000 cold emails and 150 of them reply positively, and you have conversations with all 150 of those prospects, that mimics human behavior. That is going to make you a lot less likely to go to spam and get flagged for spammy outreach. Make sure your call to actions are extremely conversational. It's going to boost your deliverability as a massive, massive result. Number 7, if you book a sales call from cold email and they no-show, reach out to them to reschedule right away. This is one of the most common holes in people's sales pipelines and can literally cause you to lose out on over half of your sales from cold email, because at the end of the day, you are having a sales call with a cold prospect that has never seen your face, that does not know you yet, that does not trust you yet. Sometimes they're just not going to show up. So have the pre-call nurture sequences in place, have the calendar reminders, have the text reminders in place. But if a prospect no-shows, email them right away, get the call rescheduled. Don't be too pushy, and you'll have double the amount of sales calls on your calendar, and you'll close more deals as a result. Always email the prospect right away if they no-show a cold email call. Number 8, speak the prospect's language. When you're writing cold email copy, put yourself in the shoes of the prospect and see what they would respond back to. For example, ask a plumber what a good number is so you can call him on his cell phone while he's going to a job. For a startup founder, say that I can design an automation for you on Make that goes into your HubSpot through Zapier, and they're going to know exactly what you're talking about. Make sure you're speaking the prospect's language, and your response rate will triple as a result. Number 9, getting a positive reply to your cold email is only half the battle. Whenever someone gets a positive reply in their inbox and they're just starting cold email for the first time, all they want to do is celebrate, post a screenshot on Twitter, message me about it in Slack. The job is not done yet. You have to book the sales call. If you celebrate too early and you don't actually go to get the call booked, you're going to fumble the bag 9 times out of 10. You're not going to get the call booked. You're not going to close the deal, because guess what? Cold email results, cold email success is not measured in how many responses you get. It's measured in how many calls you generate and how many deals you close. That's all that matters at the end of the day. So if you get a positive response, treat it like a game and try to book them in as little email correspondences as you possibly can. If they say, send me more information, send them the information they're looking for, and then ask, like I said before, how does tomorrow or Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern work for a quick call so we can discuss this in more detail. That's all you want to do, is get the call booked in as little emails as possible, handle objections, and save most of the information for the actual call. Number 10, if you are going to use a pain point in your cold email, do some research and make sure that the pain point is actually accurate. Once again, let's say you're reaching out to plumbers. Don't just make up a pain point and say, as a plumber, I'm sure you're sick of your Google reviews being negative. You don't know if that's an actual pain point for the audience you're reaching out to unless you do research. Go on Reddit, go on social media, talk to a plumber, talk to your client, ask your client for permission to talk to their clients. Figure out 2 or 3 pain points that these people actually resonate with. Let's say a really good pain point for a plumber is, I can't seem to get people who book in through my website to pay for an estimate. That's a real pain point that plumbers actually experience. So you can go into your cold email copy and say, hey, I'm sure you're sick of getting people booking in that never actually pay for an estimate. That is a real pain point that you researched. You can't just make something up and put it in a cold email, because if you make up a pain point that's not really relevant, it's going to get no results. But if you use a pain point that's relevant to the whole market, you're going to get some of the best cold email results you've ever seen. Do your own research, find actual pain points. The best cold email offers of all time are extremely unique. Fencing solutions for contractors, custom merchandise for companies, podcast placement for CEOs. And on the flip side, the worst offers in the world are too generic. If you're just offering more sales, more booked calls, more revenue from cold email, or more revenue from your email list, do not be surprised when your cold emails flop. You have to spin up your offer in a way that makes it unique, exciting, and appeals to the prospect's ego. Why does a podcast placement offer work so well? Because everybody wants to go on more podcasts, talk about themselves, build their personal brand. So sit down and figure out a way to make your offer unique and enticing to somebody on the other end. For example, if you do email marketing for e-com and you're just saying, I can get your Klaviyo revenue to 30% of your total monthly revenue, they've heard that about 684 times this week. Instead, say something like, I can create an AI customer persona named Nancy who will email your customers every day and act as if they're their friend having a cocktail with them at the bar. All of a sudden, the person on the other end's like, I want an AI persona for my Klaviyo campaigns, and they're going to want to speak to you. Even if your fulfillment doesn't change at all, think of a sexy, unique mechanism you can put in your cold email copy and your results will skyrocket. Number 12, segmenting your list is always worth the extra effort. If you can split your campaign into real estate, solar, insurance, healthcare, do it every single time, because the amount of relevant copy you can put in a sequence when you're reaching out to a specific industry is 10 times better than if you just have one generic list with generic copy. Here's a good example. What does every solar company want? More installations. Does an insurance company want installations? No, that would make no sense for an insurance company. So you want to have a list that's tailored enough where you can pitch them something that only they relate to, because they'll think, or they'll know that you know what you're talking about and you know how to help them. So if you reach out to a list of solar company CEOs and you say, I can help you get 50 new installations per month in the Austin, Texas area with my YouTube marketing system, a solar CEO is going to read that email and go, this guy knows what he's talking about. He understands what I'm looking for. I want to talk to him. You can't get that specific and personalized with a list of any industry, any job title, any keyword. So segment your list. The copy will be much better and it'll pay off 10 times over. Number 13, leverage your best case studies. If you have a hyper relevant case study for a specific niche or a specific industry, use that case study as the basis for every single cold email angle that you ever write. For example, let's say you're reaching out to a roofing company and you've already helped another roofing company generate $30K in new deals off of $1,000 $30,000 in ad spend, for example. Use that angle in every single piece of cold email copy you ever write. Here's how it would look. Hey, Christian, notice you're the founder of Christian's Roofing Company here in Tampa. I just helped Daniel's Roofing Company in Tampa generate $30,000 in new roofing contracts from 1 month of working together. If any roofer reads that you already helped their opponent or their competitor or somebody nearby in the same industry get that result, they're going to want to listen to you. Leverage your best case studies. Number 14, stop putting so much emphasis on the subject line. Quick questions still works to this day. I see so many people go in the weeds on what subject line do I test? How do I get people to open my emails? I need to test more subject lines. Here's a great A/B test for you. Test quick question as your control because it's worked for 4 straight years. 1A, quick question. 1B, do something like company name X ListKit intro. So when the person reads it, it'll say client ascension X ListKit intro, and it'll look as if somebody's referring them new business or somebody's getting in touch with them from their network. Or test something like the actual benefit of your email. 50K in new roofing contracts guaranteed. I just gave you 3 subject lines to test. That's the only amount of effort you have to put into your subject lines. I just gave it to you. Number 15, never include any links, any images, or any HTML in your cold emails ever at all. If you have anything in your email besides plain text, you are automatically putting yourself at risk of going to spam and hurting your deliverability before the prospect even responds. So do yourself a favor, plain text only, no links, no images, nothing, plain text. Number 16, sometimes skipping personalization altogether and getting right to the pitch works in your favor. I'll skip the BS and get right to it. That is a real opener that I've tried successfully with my cold email copy, because at the end of the day, people already know that it's a cold email. If you say, hey, notice you're the founder of Client Ascension, notice you're in charge of ListKit's marketing, their guard goes up immediately. They know it's a cold email. So to go against the grain and zig while everybody zags, address this and open your email with something like, hey, I'll skip the AI personalization and get right to the pitch. People will appreciate it. It's going to work. Try it out. Number 17, never state your pricing over cold email. And the main reason is because you are shooting yourself in the foot if you state your price before the sales call takes place. If a prospect says, what's your pricing, and you state it, they're either going to say, 1, this is out of my budget, I don't want to talk to you, before a sales conversation ever even takes place. Or they're going to be like, oh, this is so cheap, you must not even be a legitimate service provider. There's almost no scenario where stating your price before the sales call works in your favor with cold email, because number 1, they're going to disqualify themselves based on pricing, or they're not going to take you seriously because you're too cheap. All this can be saved for a sales call where you can actually handle objections face-to-face on Zoom. Never state your price over cold email. It's as simple as that. 18, offers with guarantees outperform the ones that don't every single time over cold email. Let's say you're hiring someone for a service, YouTube content, for example, and they don't have a guarantee in their offer. I'm going to do YouTube for you every single month. You'll be somewhat confident in working with them. Maybe not. You might lose a couple $1,000s working with them. Whereas somebody who comes to you and says, I'll help you sign 5 clients guaranteed from my YouTube content strategy, or you don't pay me. Now you have maximum confidence working with this person because you're not incurring any losses if they don't deliver results. The same is true for a cold email campaign. Throw in a guarantee into your messaging, have it in writing in your contract, and you will sign way more clients from cold email. Number 19, once you find a winning cold email angle, eliminate every single losing cold email angle and just keep testing new variants of the winner. This is something you can do with any sending platform, Smart Lead, Instantly, whatever you use for cold email, doesn't matter, ListKit. Just set up A, B, C, and D variations on your first email and see which one performs better. Let's say number 1, email 1A is pitching 10 calls a month guaranteed. 1B is pitching 10 calls a month, no guarantee. 1C is pitching a video pitch, and 1D is pitching a free piece of content. Once you figure out which angle does the best, 10 calls per month guaranteed, eliminate B, C, and D and replace them with small variants of the 10 calls per month guaranteed messaging, and you'll continue to optimize and see what the exact syntax of a winning cold email for your offer is until you have literally an email that doesn't get outperformed by anything else. That is the method and the process of testing cold email variants. Go broad at first with your testing, and then dial it down to the point where you're testing CTAs, you're testing subject lines, you're testing openers, and you will find a winning angle. Number 20, calls that you book from a Loom video pitch will be much more qualified than a regular cold email. The reason being is if you pitch a Loom video in your cold email and a prospect watches it, sees your face, hears your voice, and then books a call with you, they're going to show up to the call with a certain amount of trust and familiarity built to the point where it's going to make it easier for you to close them on as a client, as opposed to them just coming from a cold email where they haven't seen your face or heard your voice yet. This is why the Loom video pitch is so overpowered, because if you book a sales call from a Loom video pitch, it will be easier for you to close the deal on the call as opposed to if they just come from an email correspondence. Put your face on video, pull up their website, address them by name, and you'll have a much easier time closing deals from cold email if you have a video pitch in the process. 21, if you can't filter for something in your search when you're building a list of leads, ask it in the cold email. With softwares like ListKit, you can filter by things like industry, keywords, job title, employee count, location, all those things. For example, you can't filter for if they're using a certain kind of flooring in their facility. So what can you do to filter for this? Ask it in the email. Hey, are you guys using epoxy coating on your floors in your warehouse? All of a sudden, anyone that is using epoxy coating is going to say, yes, I am. Why do you ask? Number 22, the golden rule of cold email is to talk about your prospect twice as much as you talk about yourself. For every 2 U's, have 1 I. You can get double the amount of booked calls on your calendar with our XYZ process. You out. Don't say our cold email process and our outreach system can get you double the amount of calls. You want to make sure that you're addressing the prospect twice as much as you're talking about yourself. The golden rule, 2 to 1, you to I. 23, your own past experience is a great angle in your cold email copy. This is something that people tend to neglect. I had someone come to me on the phone one time and say, I sold my business for $10 million as the CEO. What should my cold email angle be? That is your cold email angle right there. Hey, Christian, I noticed you're the founder of ListKit. I recently exited a company for $10 million, all thanks to my cold outreach strategy. Mind if I share a video explaining how it works? That's all you have to say. You already have the best social proof of all time, selling a business or growing a business to X in revenue. Leverage that in your copy, and it's as simple as that. Your past experience, if it's relevant and impressive, is the best angle that you could ever have. Number 24, if you book a prospect in with a sales rep from your team, refer to the sales rep as an equal or superior to you. For example, hey Christian, just booked you in for tomorrow with my partner Joe. He's looking forward to speaking with you. Why is this important? If the prospect thinks that you're passing them off to some sales rep or some AE or some SDR, they're not going to take the call seriously, they're not going to respect you, or they're not going to respect the sales rep, most importantly. So always refer to the sales rep as your partner, and then let the sales rep know that you referred to them as your partner so they can refer to you as their partner, and the call will go a lot smoother for that rep. It's a psychology thing. If somebody knows that you're passing them off to a sales rep instead of a founder, they're not going to be as impressed and excited. But if you say, hey, my partner is going to be on the call with you, now they're like, oh, I'm talking to the CEO's business partner who's the CMO, right? Make up that little situation in your head. Let the sales rep know that it's happening. The calls will go a lot smoother as a result. Trust me. 25, the Trojan horse Loom video pitch is the best outreach approach I have ever seen. Here's how it works. All you do is make an observation about their business. I was checking out your website and I noticed 2 things that are hurting your conversions. That's the Trojan horse. You're getting yourself through the door with an observation. Then the CTA, I recorded a quick video breaking down the causes and how to fix them. Mind if I send it over to you here? What's that going to do? Somebody reading this email is going to go, oh, this person noticed a few things that are wrong with my website and all I have to do is say yes and I'll get a video showing me how to fix them. Why would I not do that? That's a no-brainer. Here's a key caveat. The video that you're pitching in the email is not recorded yet. So when you say I recorded a quick video, you didn't have to make the video. You're just waiting for them to say yes, show me the video. Then you go and record it, right? And then going back to the other point, that video that you record is going to make your sales call a lot easier and a lot more qualified. Trojan horse Loom video pitch, the best of all time. 26, there is no mathematical rule to find a winning cold email angle. It's going to be clear based on your positive response rates. This is something a ton of beginners mess up. How do I know if this angle is a winner? What's the positive reply rate need to be for me to make a decision? It's really simple. If you're split testing 2 angles and you have 8 positive responses for one angle and only 2 positive responses for a different angle, that is very conclusive evidence the angle with 8 positives is outperforming the angle with 2 positives, right? All if people come to me and say, hey, I have one angle with 4 positive responses and one angle with 3 positive responses. Is the first one a winner? I'm like, no, that is not concrete evidence that that's a winning angle because the response rate is so similar. You have to have very clear, undeniable evidence that one angle is significantly outperforming the other, or it's not worth it to stop the A/B test and cut the loser. No rule for it, but it has to be very, very clear that one angle is better than the other. 27, write your cold emails at a 5th grade reading level. 10 leads a month sounds a lot better than streamlining your marketing with our cutting edge solution. A lot of people want to speak corporate jargon and throw in all these buzzwords. I can streamline your marketing. I can revolutionize your team with AI. Pretend like you're talking to a 5th grade kid with your cold emails and make sure that your emails can be read and understood by a 5th grader, because guess what? The best emails of all time are very simple. I can get you on 10 podcasts a month. I can book you 10 sales calls a month. I can help you sign 10 clients a month from YouTube. Very direct, no fluff, no streamlining or revolutionizing your marketing. You will have infinite sales calls on your calendar if you understand this principle and write your cold emails at a 5th grade level. That's it. Number 28, limit your sending to 20 emails per day per inbox. This is the biggest fumble of all time when people want to scale their cold email campaigns and they scale the volume on 2 inboxes to 100 per day per inbox. That is the fastest way to go to spam and ruin your deliverability and basically have to start your whole campaign over. Instead, keep the sending constant per inbox, 20 per day, and just purchase more domains, set up new inboxes on those domains, and scale horizontally with your sending rather than vertically. Never go above 20 emails per inbox. Buy more inboxes if you want to scale. That's the rule. Follow it or don't and have to start over because all your cold emails start going to spam. 29. The goal of a cold email is always a sales call every single time, but sometimes you have to add in steps in the middle like a video, a free sample, a portfolio of your work to get someone to book a call with you. For a lot of people, this is a big ego problem, right? I don't want to do the extra work to get the call booked. I don't want to make a video. I don't want to send samples because they don't want to put in any effort because they think they're too good for that. Well, guess what? The prospects don't care if you think you're too good for it. You're just not going to get results, and that's why they don't get results. So if you want to get great results with cold email, throw in a video pitch, offer some free samples, show them a portfolio of your work, and you will book more calls because people will trust you. They will see that you're competent and they will want to work with you. And like I said before, the sales call will be a lot more qualified because they already trust you and they already like you before the call takes place. Whereas if you just pitch a call, they're going to show up apprehensive, not ready to go, not trusting you yet. Throw in a little middle ground there, video pitch, portfolio, free sample, and then get the call booked. Number 30, set up a subsequence for all of your cold email campaigns. So when somebody responds positively, they get nurtured on autopilot. In Smart Lead, if you're in your campaign settings, click on subsequence, set up a new subsequence, and then for anybody that gets tagged as interested, meeting request, demo booked, whatever you want to call it, you can create custom tags as well. You will create a new sequence of emails that follows up with that lead until they book a call. Here's an example. Let's say somebody responds to the email, says, yes, I would love to talk to you. When can we hop on the phone? I would say, hey, Christian, how does tomorrow or Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern work? Let me know. I'll book us in. Thanks. Instead of just letting that lead go to the sideline and wait for them to respond, tag them as interested and have that subsequence trigger follow-ups that are sent out until they book a meeting. Here's an example. A good subsequence could be 8 emails long, and all it says is, hey, just following up here. When's a good time for a call? Hey, don't think we forgot about you. Let's hop on a call, right? Every single email in that subsequence is designed to get the call booked, but you don't have to touch a thing because it's automated. So this will handle your follow-ups and your nurtures for you, and you'll have calls rolling in hands-free. Set up subsequences. You'll book more calls hands-free. Number 31, send at least 1,000 cold emails per angle before you make a single change to your copy because anything else is not statistically significant yet. Cold email is really a science, and if you don't collect enough data before you switch your copy, you're never going to know if the copy is actually effective or not. I'll have people come to me and say, hey dude, I've sent 100 emails per angle and none of them got responses yet. Can I make a change? And I'm going to tell you, no, don't change a single thing because you haven't sent enough cold emails to get a good feedback loop from the audience yet to see if it actually works or not, right? If you run paid ads, you're not going to sit here and spend $200 on a paid ad campaign and then say, oh, I need to change it yet. You have to let the budgets play out and get enough data in to make a logical conclusion. Cold email is the same exact thing. All you have to do is go into a tool like ListKit, grab a list of 10,000 leads, for example, run through that entire list of 10,000 leads. You'll have 2,500 emails sent per angle. For the sake of math, grab a list of 4,000 leads from ListKit, CEOs of plumbing companies. I keep doing plumbing companies in Florida. Reach out to all 4,000. So each of your 4 angles has 1,000 emails sent per angle, and you will be able to look at the data and have significant feedback that says, hey, email 1A got 10 positive responses. None of the other ones got any positive responses. 1A is a winner. Number 32, appealing to somebody's ego is the best cold email strategy of all time. The best offers I've ever seen for cold email are media placements, podcast placements, going viral on YouTube, going viral on TikTok. At the end of the day, prospects are human beings, and every human being is motivated by talking about themselves, going viral, becoming famous, having a lot of people hear their story. So if you have any kind of offering that's content driven or PR driven or podcast driven, leverage that with cold email as hard as you possibly can. My man Anthony here, he booked 168 sales calls in 1 month for his podcast agency because everybody wants to go on podcasts and talk about themselves, and he can help people grow their podcast. Any way that you can frame your offer to make it appeal to a personal brand, do it. 33, selling features in your cold email campaign works well if you have a unique offer. Here's a good example. At ListKit right now, my best cold email strategy of all time goes like this. Hey Christian, we have a database of 600 million triple verified email leads with decision maker profiles. Mind if I send over a list of 50 leads to show you how it works? I'm not saying we can get you sales calls or deals or anything like this. I'm pitching the feature of our database having 600 million cold email profiles and triple verified emails, and that is working better than anything I've ever tested. So if you have a unique offer, here's a good example, like coffee, you're trying to sell to cafes, you're trying to sell your coffee products to cafes. You have a fencing service that you can sell to contractors to secure their project grounds. Pitch the feature, right? If it's unique and it's valuable, like data, fencing, coffee. If you have a very commoditized offer like Facebook ad campaigns or email marketing, don't sell the feature, because if you say, I can run a Facebook ad campaign for you, okay, great, no one cares. They've heard that 10 times today. You have to get benefit heavy. So if you have a really good offer that's unique, go feature based. It's going to work well. Contrary to popular belief, try it out. 34, if you get a cold email reply that passes you off to to a colleague, email them right away with the subject line referral from name. Let's say Todd responds to your cold email. Hey Christian, Todd here. Thanks so much for the email. Nancy is best to talk about this. Here's her email. Reach out to Nancy right away and say referral from Todd. If Nancy sees that Todd referred her a person to talk to her, it's in her best interest to answer this email, especially if Todd is her superior, her boss, her manager, her CEO. This is just a psychology play, right? If you get referred to somebody, Todd says talk to Nancy, and you email Nancy saying referral from Todd, it's a very organic conversation. She's going to open the email. She's going to think that you're a coworker, a friend, a colleague, right? She's going to open the email and the conversation is going to start very naturally. So if you use that subject line when you get passed off to somebody else, it's going to be almost a 100% open rate and a very high reply rate. 35. If you're pitching a Loom video in your cold email copy, do not make the video for the prospect until they say yes. Otherwise, you're going to be making 1,000 videos at a time for prospects in your outreach campaigns, and you're literally going to spend the entire day on this. Or you could get 8 really good qualified replies from prospects and make only 8 videos for those 8 prospects. And on that note, this might be one of the most important points of the entire video. So if you've made it until this point, congratulations, you're going to get great results with your cold email campaigns. And this doesn't even have to do with cold email directly. So number 36, if you're a ghost on the internet, it's going to hurt your cold email performance. You need a good website, a good YouTube presence, a good LinkedIn presence, a good Twitter or X presence, and you need to have good case studies, testimonials, G2 reviews. You want to be all over the internet as much as you possibly can. So maybe the podcast offer that I said earlier is a good idea for your business, because guess what? Any prospect that gets a cold email from you and has somewhat, there's a level of interest there, they're going to do their own research on you. They're going to copy and paste your domain into their browser, look up your website, look up your name, look up your business's name, look up your reviews, try to find some dirt on you. They're going to make sure that you're a qualified business owner before they respond. 37, if you have a visual offer, show off your work with your cold email campaigns. If you do video production, graphic design, ad creation, web design, graphics, just pitch a portfolio of your work with your cold email campaigns. This is a major variable eliminated from the equation already before you even start. Don't pitch anything else besides a portfolio of your work or a video going over your portfolio of your work. It's really that simple. Put yourself in the prospect's shoes for a second. If you have a very artistic, creative offer, like I said, designers, video production, what does the prospect want to see? They don't want to see you or your face. They want to see your work. So put your work in front of them, and that's going to make your job 10 times easier. That's going to get you more replies. And if your work is actually good and you put out good things and do great work, you're going to book calls just from showing the prospect your work. Like, wow, this is really impressive. I want to talk to you. 38, never talk about yourself in your cold email campaigns unless you're Gary Vee or Tony Robbins. No one cares what you accomplished. No one cares where you went to school. No one cares what awards you won for your agency. They care about what you can do for them. That's it. I don't even need to explain this one. Just take my word for it. Never open your email with, I'm an award-winning graphic designer with 10 years of experience. I went to MIT. I did this. I did that. No one cares. Tell the person what you can do for them. End of story. This rolls into my next point, number 39. Do not try to tell a story with your cold email copy. Appeal to logic and make it very clear what the outcome of your services are. I see people all the time struggle with this. They come to me, Christian, why is nobody responding to my cold emails? I look at their copy and it goes like this. Hey, Timothy, as a consultant, I'm sure you know how difficult it is to sign clients in 2024 with the state of social media and the digital landscape and the amount of competition. You just spent the first 3 sentences of your email trying to paint this picture and illustrate this story for the person. You don't have to tell a story with cold email. This isn't email marketing. This isn't a paid ad. This is a cold email where all you want to say is, as a consultant, I'm sure you want more clients. We can help you sign 10 clients a month guaranteed with our video marketing system. Do you want to talk? You don't need to tell them how crazy the economy is or how the election is going to determine their business or how Bitcoin is doing. Just tell them what you can do for them, and that's it. And number 40, to wrap it up, the most important, the Loom video call to action is the best call to action of all time, and it's not even close. There's no close second, nothing. It achieves so many things at once. Number 1, you pitch a video, you're going to get way more responses. Your deliverability is going to go up because you're getting responses. Number 2, the sales calls that you produce from this strategy are going to be more qualified because people that already see your video, they know you, they trust you, they want to work with you before the call takes place. And number 3, it lets you introduce yourself and it gives you 3 to 5 minutes to pitch your services, whereas a cold email gives you 3 seconds to pitch your services. So once you get a yes to a Loom video, that gives you the time to actually do a video pitch and talk them through what you do for 3 to 5 minutes. You don't get that amount of time with a cold email. You only get that amount of time to talk about yourself and your business with a Loom video. But over the last few years, because of me, it's gotten pretty popular. A lot of people do it in their outreach now. They pitch a video. It's not as sexy as it used to be. People are catching on. And the only people that are still succeeding with Loom video pitches these days are doing a few things correctly, even with the market completely shifting to pitching Loom videos, which is why in the next video, I'm going to show you the exact Loom video strategy that I'm using to this day to still book book dozens of calls per week for myself and my clients, so you can literally copy and paste it into your outreach. I will see you over there. Thanks.